جميعا حيثما كنتم ومرحبا بكم مجددا مع هذه المحاضرة الثالثة عشرة من تفسير سورة هود مع قول الله جل جلاله.
This is the 17th lecture of Surah Hud, and we start after asking Allah from Shaitan Rajim. Allah says, after our messenger came and he said, this is a very terrible day. And his people came to him, running to him, and they used to do the sins. He said, these are my daughters, they are more purified. Don't embarrass me in front of my guests. Don't you have a righteous person? They said, you know, we have nothing to do with your daughters, and you know what we want. He said, if I have strength, or I will go to a very strong place. It saddened him when he saw the messengers of Allah coming over him. Like he have no power over them. And they explaining the word dhara, which means I got the limit of my power. I am he is very saddened to see them depressed. And then he said, do not embarrass me. Lut was saying, do not embarrass me, my guess. It's on the one or the bunch of guests. So if I have any strength on you to stop you, or I will go to hold someone who could support me. This is an indication. The Sheikh is talking about the language meaning of some of the vocabulary, but the meaning here that when the messengers of Allah, the angels came in, they went to Lut. He felt bad. He could not welcome them because he knows what they are going to do and how his people is going to attack them. And they came as beautiful men. And he said, this is a very difficult day. This is a day that is very bad day. And then his people came to him. When they knew they are rushing toward him, they wanted to commit the adultery, commit the sin of wanting to commit the big sin. And before they used to do the sin, before their coming, there are people who are doing all types of sins that upsets Allah. And from its worst and more ugliest crime and sin, what the nature of the human being dislikes. They used to say, but unfortunately nowadays no religion or law that dislike that anymore. It's becoming something that it allow people that try to normalize it even from the law point of view. So they used to do the sins which the men have sexual intercourse with men, and they declare it in their public places that they are doing this sin in public, and they are cutting people's roads and they attack them, take their possessions. So he said, these are my daughters, they are more better for you to, meaning the daughters of his tribe. That here's the women of our tribe, like they are my daughters. They are more pure for you to marry. And he wanted to use them as wife, it is better than to do sodomy. And it is more, it's unnatural, like the Prophet ﷺ told us. So fear Allah and do not embarrass me in front of my guests. Fear Allah, fear His punishment. When you're committing the sin and you are asking for it, do not humiliate me. Don't to dishonor the guest. It is a dishonor to the host. Don't you have anyone who is righteous, someone who understands, who is wise, who will stop people who want to commit an adultery with his guest and stop them from what they are wanted? So look at the urges when it's the desire, when it overcomes and overwhelms the human body. And they said, we have nothing to do with women. We have nothing. We don't want to marry them. Don't just keep us away from what we wanted of having intercourse with these men who came into town. That they don't want nothing. We know that we had the right, and we will not do that. We don't look for it. You know what we want. You know indeed what we want, which is to enjoy the male. So they wanted to commit the sin of having sex with the angels. What can he do to them? He said, if I have some things, if I have any power over you, or I will go to a corner that is very strong, like someone who could support me. When he tried and they refused to listen to him, he said sadly, full of sadness, if I just have any power against you, any power over you, or people who could help me against you, or a tribe that will protect me from you, I will stop you from what you came in trying to do to my guests. And in that, the angels, they calmed him. They said, "Oh Lord, we are the messenger of your Lord. They cannot reach you. Be calm. We are the messengers of your Lord, and they will not reach you. They will not harm you. So leave with your family at night, and not of you should turn back except your wife. She's going to get what's going to happen to them. Their appointment is daylight or the morning." So they're asking to leave at night. And the Sheikh recited some poetry about the meaning of Isra, which is to leave at night. So part of the night to leave. They're going to be hit with a great punishment for them, made out of dry mud that is prepared for their punishment. After that, Allah Azza wa Jal showed us how Lut did not like that scandal. Then Allah told us that the angels, they gave him glad tidings that his people will not get to him from what they wanted to do to him, and Allah is going to destroy them. and he will save him from the punishment. Indeed, the angels told Lut, after they saw the sadness that went through Lut, and when they saw he will find some strength to protect him from them, they told him, don't worry, we are the messengers of your Lord. We were sent to destroy them and to save you from their punishment. They cannot harm you, they cannot get to you, nor your guest. So calm down. Then Allah, and it said that Jibreel did something with his wing that they could not see. And Allah said, and they have tempted him on his guess, and we have covered their eyes, their sight. So they became blind, they cannot see, and they cannot be guided to their own houses. And they start screaming, salvation, salvation. Indeed, there is some magicians in the house of Lut. So the messengers, the angels told them to leave at night, to leave that town. So there was enough of that night for you to go to safety. And Allah said in Surah Al-Dhariyat, and we have taken whomever was in it from the believers, and we could not find except one household of believers, of Muslims. So Allah told them not to turn their back again, except for his wife. Why? So they will be to rush into leaving, and they will not see the punishment to their people, and they will feel emotional toward them. So you will not soften your heart toward them. So you will not see the punishment that's going to them. So keep going and don't turn around. Except for your wife. Is it from an exception that they were not, he will not go with him, or she will turn back because she betrayed him through telling his people to his guests. Allah gave an example of those who disbelieved the wife of Nuh and Lot. They were under two servants of ours, and they betrayed them, and nothing protected from Allah, and they were said, go to hellfire with those who enters. So she will be getting what's going to happen from the punishment. It was decreed that them. And the reason Allah wants him to go at night, because the punishment is coming and morning. So there is a little bit of the night. It's enough for you to go to reach safety. So Allah's punishment will come to them. Their destiny is in the morning. Isn't the morning close by? And then the punishment came to them. Then the yell took them looking for the sunrise. So none of them was able to get out. Then when Allah order came in, Allah flipped it, where its up top became its bottom, and He have collapsed the earth. If Allah wants destruction to an earth, He will put space, a vacuum, so the top part will come down to the bottom. Some of the people they said that it is in one of the lakes.
لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. فلما جاء أمرنا جعلنا عاليها سافلها الله جل وعلا أمر
Allah ordered Lut, like we said, to move with his family in part of the night, at the end of the night, and he told to follow them,
واتبع أهواءهم. أمره أن يكون ساقط اليمين، أن يكون في مؤخرته
to be behind them,
ليرعاهم ويطمئن على خروجهم ونجاتهم جميعا. والساقط ما يكون في آخر القول. فالحديث
in the hadith.
يعني سعبت الإيمان
The follower of the currency is destroyed. If they are given, they are happy. If they are stopped, they are saddened.
يعني سمع التكس وإذا طوبى لعبد
Happiness
في سبيل الله
to someone who spend in the sake of Allah.
إن كان في الحراسة كان في
If he in the front, he is happy. If he in the behind, he is happy. He seek the reward from Allah. So keep going and don't be distracted by the noises you're gonna hear.
وقيل استثناء من المنفي ولا يلتفت منكم احد الا وقد ذكر انها خرجت معه سمعت الضوضاء والجلبه والميله التفتت وقالت وقوماه وقوماه فجاءها حزن من السماء.
And she looked at her people when she turned around, and then Allah descended a rock from the heavens that destroyed her. The people of Lut, they rushed to Lut, and he is preventing them from what they are doing, and they do not accept from him. From the greatness of what was said about Hudayfa ibn Yaman, he asked him, and Allah told Jibreel not to punish them until Lut make 3 witnesses on them. So when Lut went to them, he remembered what his people are doing from evil. And he said, don't you know what the people of this village doing? Where I go with you? And they are worse. So Jibreel looked at the angels. This is one. Then he walked with him. When he went into the middle of it, he said, in the middle of the, don't you know what the village are doing? I don't know one who is worse than them. So Jibreel looked at it, he said, this is second. When he went to his house, he started crying. And he said, oh, my people are the worst. Don't you see what these people are doing? I don't know anyone who is worse than that. So Jibreel told the angels, this is the third one, and then the punishment is deserved. So she gave uh, she gave a signal to the men to come in, and they said, "What's going on?" She said, "I have some men for you who are very beautiful, smell really good." And they rushed to his house, trying to fight them. And that's when he told them about the women of the village, that they are more purified for them to marry than the men. And then Jibril, he hit him with part of his wing that made them all blind until the morning. So the order of Ra came in, and that's when the sunrise, this yell came to them, and Allah flipped it, and He rained on them some stones that are solid, one after the other, non-stop. And it was said, it was sealed, the name of every person is going to hit. So the stones came in and destroyed them all. None of them survived. They said there were 4 villages. Allah alam how many villages there were. Allah knows their number. Allah destroyed all these villages and all those around it. And Allah said, and it's not far, this punishment is not far away from the transgressors. There is one important issue that this one spread nowadays. People are allowing it, and they became a law. This sin became something that is a norm, and they try to force it to make it a norm. And they've taken the attack for those who deny people from doing this, or come to them, or deny them. So what is the action of the Muslim nowadays? For the American Muslim Jurist Association, they have a beautiful decision on this. We tell you, listen to it, to stop the marriage between the homosexual, because the marriage is only between a man and a woman, and the man to man or woman to woman, from what is known in Islam. This is what it is forbidden in all the religions. Even if some laws allowed it, that does not mean there should be a disagreement that this is a sin. Some the people who are they are trying to play around this principle in the religion of Allah and all the messengers for Islam. They're trying to find a way they're trying to find some error in this that all the religions agreed on. So don't look at these laws. This is something forbidden by Allah Azza wa Jalla and all religions. So you have to look into 2 things when you deal with this. First of all, you have to declare and clarify what is forbidden, even if it is allowed by the law. And you have to know that the minorities, Muslims, they are not trying to force our laws, but we are trying to advise people. Islam does not allow us to come to people to overcome the authorities or the power, the people in power. That's their issues. And Islam forbids their people to spy on people or to follow their private issues. Islam does not forbid just the feeling. If someone has a feeling to the other sex, we do not forbid that feeling that a person cannot leave. But I do not deny for a specific organization or others the way the people they talk that looks like the other sex. It was not look like they are intentionally trying to look like them, so that unless he shows something bad. Third, you have to avoid attacking or even insulting in any of the civilians, whether they are gays or others. It is because transgression, oppression, attack, all of this is a crime that is forbidden in Islam. We stop here, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, and inshallah we'll continue on Monday, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Hopefully we'll see you on Monday, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. هاي صعبة الترانسليشن، هاي الفقرة الأخيرة. شو الصورة الحلوة؟ كيف جاب هالزهور والشغلات هاي؟
كان يعني تركيب مو حقيقي.
تضحك علينا. الله يعطيك العافية. الله المستعان.